Well, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today on Friday the 13th. My name is Jason Voorhees Levine, and welcome to today's final day of the Video Daily Creative Challenge. Sorry, I got just totally lost in my own Jason Friday the 13th nonsense there for a second. So it's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for sticking with us this whole week. Hope you've enjoyed these challenges, all focused around Adobe Premiere Rush. And today is the last day. So we're going to spend about the first 10 minutes or so talking about today's challenge, which is to transform and reframe your video using the native auto-reframe effect inside of Premiere Rush. And then we're going to take a look at some submissions in the Discord. Speaking of Discord, this is where you're going to submit all of your stuff for the challenges. So if you haven't already gotten started with the challenge itself, go ahead and switch my screen over here. So here is where you're going to go. Now, you'll still be able to do the challenges from earlier in the week if you haven't had time to do them just yet. behance.net/challenge/premiere. That's where you're going to want to go. That's where you're going to want to sign up. That's where you're going to want to download all the content that we've provided. Now, today, there isn't any downloadable content because the idea is that you're going to reframe one of the edits that you've already made this week. So we had 3 days of footage supplied to you from Adobe Stock free. Also worth pointing out, Adobe Stock free, stock.adobe.com/free. This is where all the content came from this week. This is a new collection that we put out a couple of weeks ago. Over 70,000 assets, videos, vectors, images, just wonderful stuff. I mean, really shockingly good, to be honest, for free stock content. And all the stuff that we provided this week all came from there. So you can download more if you want to augment your edits, if you want to start something from scratch. Remember that this week we were trying to base your edits around some kind of a cause or a theme of preservation or something like that. So we had animals yesterday, we had oceans the day before, we had desert the day before, and I started the week off with the preservation of performed and played music. So again, now when you've done your submission, you're ready to go, you're going to submit it to the Discord. Now you're going to want to join the Discord. You can find that at bit.ly/prdiscord. This is an amazing community that we've cultivated over the last couple of months. Like-minded peers, editors, creatives, go there. You can upload your content directly, but you have only 8 megabytes. You have an 8 megabyte file limit when you do that. So you're going to want to probably embed that inside of a YouTube video or Vimeo or Facebook post or Twitter post, and then just send a URL, like an embedded link, into the Discord. However you want to do it. I'm all marble-mouthed this morning. I don't know what's up with that. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, let's start saying some hellos here and kick off the challenge today. So thank you so much, Sean, Lynn Smith, Tim, Julia Durant, great to see you, Rudolph Battle, D. Ross, Jurgen Kaiser, Steve Kosaboom, Pamela, nice to see you, Shelly S., great to see you too, Gus. Sorry, I see a lot of people. Reverb Mike is back in the house. A lot of people marking Friday the 13th. It's really funny because my youngest son is a huge Friday the 13th fan. We have Jason paraphernalia all over the house. bloody machetes, all different types of masks. The Neko characters from all 9 movies minus the 10th one, which doesn't really count when he's in space. But and we even rewatched all of them during quarantine. So it's actually been a lot of fun kind of revisiting all those movies from the 80s and 90s. Akshay Dayani, hello, how are you doing? Want to remind everyone, too, that we are, I'm paying attention to the chat over at behance.net/live. So I see we've got DC13 Bruh and David Presenter over on Twitter Periscope, and Des, how are you doing? I'm going to be reading the chats over at be.net/Adobe Live. So if you want to get in front of my face, if you want to get your words in front... I really don't know what I'm saying. My brain is just not functioning properly. If you want to chat, forget it. You know where to go. And if you don't, the happy Friday. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick this over to Rush, featuring some of the content from yesterday. So again, this is our animal preservation piece that we did based around color. There were some really awesome color submissions in there. I can't wait to show you all if you haven't already looked at some of your like-minded peers uploads in the Discord. So let's talk about auto-reframe, all right? So first and foremost, here we have a widescreen video, right? So all of this content was obviously shot in sort of a 16:9 aspect ratio. Standard, looks great, okay? But if we wanted to share this on something like in an Instagram story, in fact, I saw a couple people actually created some Instagram stories about the challenge. And if you wanted to share this actual video, well, of course, an Instagram story is vertical. So this aspect ratio is not going to work, and you would effectively cut off anything that wasn't directly in the center. And in the case of a clip like this, where you've got, you know, content that's moving, so it's crossing the frame, well, you might have a moment where, you know, you see those ducks or whatever those creatures are walking through the middle, but ultimately you'd be at a loss, right? Because they're kind of moving, they're not staying in the center of the frame. Now this horse, the framing of this one, primarily they've got kind of his head in the center there. So this one might, if we were to go to a vertical aspect, might just kind of work. But again, it could involve a lot of movement, and if things are actually moving over time, in Rush, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck because we don't really have keyframing. Well, all of that is solved now with auto-reframe, and we even give you this sweet, cool lightbox view where you can make changes so that our Sensei algorithm can reanalyze your clip and properly reframe it to really keep the region of interest in the center of the frame and keep it displayed. Okay, whoops. Hi, Terry. Well, hold on, let's go back here. All these weird gestures occasionally, you know, every now and again I'll swipe something. I'm like, why did this happen? There's a bunch of gestures I apparently just don't ever use on the iPad or the phone, that being one of them. Okay, so auto-reframe can be found under the Effects tab or the Effects panel here, which is a brand new effects panel released in October, just last month. Transitions up at the top, pan and zoom, we covered that the other day. And then the third option here is auto-reframe. Now, just like pan and zoom, if you have multiple video clips here, if you're on the desktop version, you can multi-select with your, you know, sort of marquee lasso, just your cursor, just select a bunch of clips. On the iPad, you're going to do that individually, just like we did color, just like we did pan and zoom. So when I take a look at this clip here, all right, let's say first we have to decide what aspect ratio we want to go to. Well, if you look just below the video display, down here, and I'm tapping this a couple times so you can see the tap, this little button represents a way for you to change the aspect ratio. And you can see that it shows 16:9, that's what we're in right now, 9:16 vertical, 4:5, which is fast becoming the new Facebook standard, and 1:1, which is traditional square. All right, so maybe we start with something like a vertical, okay? Now, to be honest, of course, vertical doesn't work for everything, and especially if things were shot where they were meant to be wide, you may have to sacrifice some of the action for the frame, okay? Now, case in point, right when I turn this into vertical, right away the cheetah's face is cut off. Now, I could go into transform here, and I could obviously move this video to place our cheetah in the center. But if that cheetah moves at all, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to move out of the center of the frame. So that's not ideal. And again, if there's constant movement, you can't keyframe this. So you'd have to cut this up into multiple sections and then keep slipping or sliding it manually. That's a very painful process, and nobody wants to do that. So we don't have to do that. Let's go to Effects, Auto-Reframe, and let's go ahead and turn on Auto-Reframe. And when we do that, Sensei is going to analyze your clip, figure out the region of interest, and automatically place that content right in the center. And you can see right when I did that, it already readjusted the camera so that it keeps sort of the whole front of our cheetah in the frame. And if we play this back now the cheetah wasn't really moving. I mean, it's turning its head, but it's not walking or prancing or anything. It did a good reframe here, right? I mean, this is as good as we're going to get it. Now, obviously, there were like little baby cheetahs next to it. We can't see all of that, but you do have this nice little view right here of that one cheetah kind of licking. I don't know if that's a mom, if licking its back. I don't know. It's just cute. Animals are awesome, all right? And it worked nicely. Now, right at the end there, let's say we're like, but you know, it's kind of cutting off its face. Okay, well, now we have this Adjust Frame button right here. And when you do that, you'll see that it pulls up this lightbox view. So we can readjust and tell it, make sure that we keep that whole cheetah, that main cheetah in the frame, and apply, and it will reconfigure the algorithm so that it maintains that cheetah staying in the frame. And look at that. It's even better now. It actually even centered it a bit more. You can see how the camera is dynamically moving to follow the motion. All right? Pretty nicely done. Okay? It's that simple. All right. Let's take something like this panda. Now, again, this is a perfect example. Now, right away, I mean, the panda itself isn't moving laterally. So I don't know how much better Auto-Reframe is going to do than this, right? So my point in showing you this is that not every clip may necessarily need it. You know, okay, maybe it moves the panda over, but then you're not going to see any of the twigs that it's eating or anything, right? So this just kind of worked. Whoever framed the original shot, the panda was in the center. So this one is actually pretty good. Doesn't really need anything. Here's another one. Again, we kind of had our goat friend. This clip, by the way, is both amazing, beautifully shot, and unbelievably creepy because this goat looks way too human, and it's even making like human mouth gestures. This was freaking me out yesterday. I saw someone posted a video and they added some kind of sound design to it. Was it actually a human voice? I can't remember. I don't know. I had like nightmares about it. So, you know, in advance of Friday the 13th. So this one, I mean, there's not much we can do. There just isn't. Now we could zoom out, right? So that we capture a bit more, but then we're going to get most likely some letterboxing on the top and bottom, and we don't want that. I mean, if you do want that, do it, okay? And that's up to you. And again, we could go back into transform and we could scale this, you know, so that we bring more of that in there, but then you're going to get that letterboxing up there, okay? But that's up to you. Maybe that doesn't bother you. Maybe you want to see the whole goat and you don't mind black bars at the top and bottom. Up to you. It'll reframe all the same if you were to apply it. But again, on the surface here, I don't think we need reframe for this clip. All right. Now here's a great example. Here's our lion, right? No reframe applied. Now it kind of turns its head into the frame here, but we're missing most of it. So if I just go ahead and turn on Auto-Reframe, right away, Sensei figures out, that's the action. Let's go ahead and see what it did over time. I mean, and that's awesome. It's really, you can see the camera is moving to follow the action of that lion. And that's really a magnificent shot, okay? So, I mean, that's it. That's all you got to do. Now, you may have noticed there's, under motion tracking, there's some options here. Slower, default, faster. I seldom ever change this, ever, because Sensei kind of knows, it does a pretty good job of figuring out what kind of motion you have in there, and it does a really good job of choosing the right preset, in this case the default. If you've got something with super fast motion and maybe it isn't capturing it properly, change it to faster. The default usually works really well. Now I want to show one more example of this in vertical before we go to square, because this is kind of a good example here. So let's take a look. So again, now we just turned on vertical. So right away, it's pretty good. It's cutting off that first you can see the beak is kind of cut off there. I mean, I don't know how much better Auto-Reframe is going to make this, but let's see. Let's turn it on and see what it does. All right, it's finished. You can see it kind of slid things over a little bit there. All right, now we got the one is completely cut off. And that's, I think, because as it was trying to follow the camera, it couldn't get both in there, so it decided to kind of focus and center on this one. Now, if we go into the adjust frame view, I mean, we could do this so that both of their heads are in there. So effectively, we're telling the algorithm, just make sure heads are always present. But now it looks weird. Now we're missing this guy. So again, you know, you can play around with it and see, based on the aspect ratio that you're trying to go to, what it's going to do. Let's wind this back and play and see how this looks. Yeah, you can see the camera there, it's like it's chasing to try and capture both heads. Yeah, not spectacular on that particular clip, but that's a challenging one because you've got two pieces of action that are slightly moving just outside of that 9:16 aspect, and it's got to figure out, well, what am I going to focus on? And it's basically trying to focus on one head at a time, which is okay too, all right? So that is effectively how you enable Auto-Reframe. I want to try this in one other aspect just to kind of show you how you can really it can still kind of maintain a very cool look, and a lot of times it really works some magic. So let's go into something like the 4x5 here. All right, a little bit wider. So again, I mean, for this first clip here, this probably, we won't even need it on this one. Let's take a look at our panda here. Now this one maybe this time could benefit from it. Let's see what it's going to do. All right, as I look over in the chat. Okay. All right, there it is. This evening is saved. Oh, there is a new Mandalorian today. Oh, nice. That's right. Okay. All right. No questions I can see, so we're going to keep on moving. Actually, yeah, the panda is a little too big. So, but overall, you can see now, look at that camera move. It just did that. So I didn't do that, right? It's moving that camera to really kind of simulate keeping that. This is one of the awesome things that it does. Let me turn this off for a second. So here's what it would have been like without it. Not bad, but turn it back on. And you actually see how it did this full pan to really bring kind of the body as the panda's sort of moving back. I mean, it's just really neat to see what the AI does in terms of how it detects and what it thinks it needs to fill the frame. Again, our goat friend, we don't need anything here. Lion, we can definitely benefit from having auto-reframe on this one. That black bar will go away. It's just figuring it out. Doug Baker, is this available in Premiere Pro as well? Yes. Yes, it is. If you simply right-click on your clips, you will be able to auto-reframe them, or you can auto-reframe an entire sequence, which is really, really nice. And then you have all the same parameters applicable that you can change after the fact. So this did a really good job in 4x5 there. All right. Now, again, here's one where, I mean, what is this going to do? You've just got this spread of hippos. It's only going to be able to show as much as it can fit, right? And then we've got these guys here. Now, this time, I really want to see this. It should do a perfect job now because they maintain a distance that doesn't seem to exceed the ratio of this particular frame size. So when I turn this on now, and let's adjust the frame, always keep those two little friends in there. This should be spot on. Let's see how it did. You can see it's moving the camera. Yeah. Right. All right, right at the end there, the one is getting away. But that's okay. Again, they're getting away from each other, and the camera's moving quickly too. So that's legit. And then on the horse here, you know, same thing. Like we're mostly pretty good. There's maybe a little bit there at the very beginning where the horse's head was out of frame. So I love to turn it on just to see if it would have found that and fixed it. And we're going to see that in just a moment here. Ant Pruitt. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'll be honest. You know, I was matching all these clips yesterday. This one turned out really nice. You know, you've heard me talk about color a lot. I don't pretend to be anything other than experimental. Not a pro colorist by any stretch, but these came out really nice. I'm really happy with the color tweaks we did yesterday. All right. I could still probably back this off a little because just at the very beginning of the clip there, it's slightly cutting off the horse's head. But now you can see for the rest of it, it's really, really good. So, you know, maybe again, it just needs and I don't know why. I don't know why it's not somehow keep this, yo. Let's see. All right, better. Wait, let's take it all the way back. See if it did a good job. Perfect. I'm not a fan of the word perfect, frankly, in art, but that's perfect. I mean, that's as good as it can be, right? And just a couple of subtle tweaks. Now, someone who just asked, Doug Baker, one of the things we don't have, unfortunately, on the Premiere version is this adjust frame option. So this is currently unique to Rush, and this, for my money, this is the best thing it's got going. This is awesome, just having this in there, all right? So that is how you reframe. The first step is first, you choose the aspect ratio you want to go to, and then you individually enable auto-reframe on your video clips, okay? So change the aspect ratio first, and then enable auto-reframe. All right, so let's go over to the Discord now for our last 5 minutes, and let's take a look at some of the submissions. All right. So we've got a whole bunch. I've already got 4 new ones since I read it just about 30 minutes ago or so, or an hour ago. So let's go ahead and let's just preview some of these. So this was one that I was just watching from Bruno Silva Design. So this is from day 3 of designing your brand. So let's take a look at this. Nice use of the stock music inside of Rush. Nicely done, Bruno Silva Designs. Okay, very cool. All right, let's check out another here. This one is from JD, Wildlife Adventure. So this is yesterday, color grading. A little use of some motion graphics templates there. Got some very rich color going on here. These look great. Again, all stock clips. Nicely matched. Those look really, they look like they're in the same place. Well done, Jay. Yeah, really got that warm light matching really well. So that's another clip from stock. I don't think I included that one, so it's nice to see that. I almost did, actually. I went with the close-up goat, or sheep, or whatever that is. Nice! Little transition there. Well done. Okay. Very nice job on a unified grade there. All right. So let's see this one here. Wasn't feeling the desert theme, so went with bicycles. All right. Let's see what you got, H. Johnny. Got some pan and zoom there. Some nice fade to black, fade to white. Cut to some video. Got good color consistency. I like it. Nicely done. Made entirely with Rush and Adobe Stock. Team would love seeing that. All right, well done. All right, how about this one here? Jesse Z. Oh, hold on, sorry, I'm midway through it already. Okay, again, different approach to grading here. It's also fun hearing the music that people have chosen. Over 1,000 new songs in Rush that you can use for your productions. Oh, that one looks great. Wow, that looks cool. Totally transformed that clip. Look at those. There's something just so awesome about that shot, I swear. Oh! Hippo's biting the butt. I didn't even notice that. Nicely done. All right. That was great. Okay, let's see if we have... I'm trying to look for a really short one here. All right. Jesse, we just saw one of yours. Jesse, H. Johnny, Bruno, Jackie. All right, Jackie, let's see if we can get into this one real quickly.
Hello, friends. My name is Jacqueline Pavan. I'm here to tell you about a fantastic product I bought. is called the litter robot. It's an automatic cat litter machine that does the job for you. No more scooping cat litter.
Oh, got some. Oh, God. All right, we're almost out of time, so I don't have to cut away. Very nicely done, Jackie. I can see you used some of the hearts, some of those other graphical motion graphics template elements. That's really nicely done. Hey, something to keep in mind, some of the noise that you had in the beginning there on your voice, you could eliminate that if you select the audio clip in Rush, go into the little audio waveform effects tab that you'll find along the right-hand side, and you'll see in there that there's actually a way to denoise that audio clip, and it would remove all that background noise and just bring your voice a little more front and center. So something to think about. Anyway, it's been great seeing your challenges. I'll be checking out the Discord over the next week or so and beyond. So continue to work with the content, submit things, ask questions, just be part of the community. Thank you so much for joining. We've got a full schedule today. I'll be back at 11:30, 10:30 Pacific time for the audio masterclass. So until then, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, everybody.